It's Midday Live. Good afternoon and welcome to Midday Live from the News Hub Adisawe here in Accra. I am Wendy Lai. The headlines for this afternoon. Ghana Society of the Physically Disabled requests to all public buildings made disability friendly. And in sports, boxing legend Azuma Nelson honored. On the flying front, Israel carries out an evacuation of members of Syria's White Helmet Civil Defense Group from a war zone in southwestern Syria. We have details of these stories, including entertainment, coming up shortly. Let's start with our stories now. And persons living with disability in Ghana still find it difficult to access public buildings and facilities 12 years after the passage of the Disability Act. At a news conference in Accra, President of the Ghana Society of Physically Disabled, Reverend John Meffel, stressed on the need for all public buildings be made disability friendly.
Parliament in August 2006 passed the Disability Act to ensure the protection and promotion of the rights of persons with disability. Section 60 of the Act enjoins stakeholders to make public places disability friendly, but there appears to be little or no effort towards the regard. The Ghana Standards Authority has also approved the National Accessibility Standards to form the basis of advocacy and to ensure all public buildings and facilities are accessible for persons with disability. The president of the Ghana Society of Physically Disabled, Reverend John Meffel, said buildings which are not disability friendly affect independence, safety and full participation of PWDs in all aspects of life.
There are no signages in buildings and other public facilities. In many cases where provisions are made for accessibility, the designs are not suitable and not up to standard.
He again called for dialogue with stakeholders to ensure compliance with the accessibility standards.
Continuous engagement with duty bearers, including policymakers, contractors, the media, and sensitize the public on accessibility.
The president of the Ghana Federation of the Disabled, Yao Ofori Debra, also highlighted the need for the Disability Act to be backed by legislative instruments and amended to conform to UN conventions on the rights of persons with disabilities.
Some more stories, and the life of students and teachers at the Krobo DA Model School in the Ifija-Kwabre district of the Ashanti region is under threat following the deplorable state of their classrooms. School authorities fear a looming disaster if urgent steps are not taken to complete the block. Here's a report by Chelsea Ifa Frempa and Ibrahim Abubakar.
Krobo DA Basic School's establishment in 2013 was a relief to parents and pupils in Afrancho, Krobo and adjoining communities. Prior to its establishment, school-going children had to trek about 6 kilometers each school day to Kronum. The long distance discouraged most children. The community, with support from the Japanese ambassador, put up these structures to serve as classrooms. The school is yet to be given a facelift despite the increase in enrollment. School authorities put up this makeshift structure to accommodate some of the students. The chief of the town started this 6-unit classroom block 3 years ago, but had to be halted due to financial constraints. The urgent need for classrooms has forced them to start using the uncompleted structure. The condition makes it impossible to continue with lessons whenever it rains.
When it rains, until the teachers combine both classes, and we find it difficult to study.
It's difficult sitting here. We are uncomfortable. This place, when even is in this rainy season, we have to go to other class and it disturbs a lot. We can't learn comfortably.
In our story building, when we are in our class learning, we can hear those who walk up on the story building, and we are always afraid because one day it can break. We are pleading for the government to help us because this situation is affecting our studies.
When contacted on phone, the Efija Kwabre District Chief Executive, Kakari Echamfo, said efforts were being made by the Assembly to complete the classroom block.
Still focus on education, and contrary to some wild claims by successive state officials over the years that schools under trees have been eradicated, there are still scores of schools in the country that are conducting classes under trees and makeshift scratches. Now let's focus on the African Faith Basic School in the Bono-Afo region.
A farming community that, notwithstanding, children have passion for school. However, staying in school is a painstaking experience and many are frightened. Aspiring to secure a brighter future, sitting under trees and on stones is their lot. At the heart of the community is the only school for the 253 pupils. The only 3-unit classroom block school accommodates primary 4, 5 and 6. While trees serve as classrooms for the others, kindergarten and primary 3 share this big tree. Classes 1 and 2 are lucky to have a tree each to themselves. Pupils are constantly carrying stone and rotating in search for shade. Clouds in the sky means no school. In the absence of furniture, stones are best for chairs, writing time, and this is what you find. Few lucky ones are on mats brought from their homes. Monitoring and marking are done while squatting. And homework is simply not part of the agenda. Teaching and learning is greatly affected.
When it's after 12, we cannot even sit here anymore. So the only thing we need to do is either we shift somewhere or we find a way to go home because there's no shade for us to sit.
The school is saddled with low attendance and enrollment.
You enroll them, but within some shortest possible time, they run away because of the nature of the environment. Because they realize that some are sitting somewhere comfortably learning, and they are here sitting under trees. Those that are in the classroom, they are also sweating every day. So because of that, we keep on enrolling and they are running away.
The teachers are pleading with authorities and philanthropists to come to their aid.
More education-related stories. By move away from the Bono-Afo region, and residents of Sancho Kofipume in the Hawaii municipality have resolved to construct accommodation for teachers posted to the community. The initiative, according to the chief of the town, Nana Obibiribi Kum, is to promote quality education.
One major factor affecting quality education in Ghana, especially in rural communities, is lack of accommodation for teachers. Teacher retention is extremely low in rural communities. Sancho Kofipume is one of such communities. Those who cannot endure the harsh conditions seek transfers, while new teachers decline postings. In addressing the accommodation challenges, the Sancho Kofipume community instituted an initiative aimed at providing decent accommodation for teachers. That is beginning with a 3-unit bungalow for the head teachers.
A 3-unit self-contained building to start with, which will house the head of the schools. We have 2 schools here. We have the primary and then we have the GHS, but they are all having one head.
Krontihene of Sancho Kofi traditional area, Nana Obibiribi Kume III, commended the indigents for their selfless service.
The development of our community is a responsibility, and so we have committed ourselves to various activities to help us achieve this purpose. Self-help has become our norm, and this is the strategy that we have used to carry out development projects in this community. The renovation of our school blocks, the construction of a clinic, of our citizens understand and support all such initiatives.
You're still watching Midday Live with me, Wendy Lai. To other stories, and the Environmental Protection Agency has hinted a policy to regulate the production and use of plastics in the country. Officials of the authority say the plastic waste in the marine environment is posing great health hazards to humans and to the food chain. Here's a report by Eva Atibuka.
The large proportion of marine debris is plastic waste. At landing beaches in Accra, piles of plastics are scattered indiscriminately.
Some of the bigger fishes, like the whales and other things, were found that they've taken too much plastics. That's why they were dying.
Godfred Taki further explained how the plastics are responsible for the dwindling fish stocks.
They are just after the coastline, and then they spread along the coast. It affects the fish where they lay their eggs, where they spawn, and all that.
The Director of Natural Resources at the EPA, Carl Fiati, says the plastics are dangerous to human health.
Going even into the food chain, and if once it's getting into the food chain, all of us globally we are at risk. So there's a big discussion on the global platform about marine plastics.
Deputy Director of Fisheries Scientific Survey Division of the Fisheries Commission, Hawa Bint Yakub, says it is aware of the problem and is working with other agencies to resolve it.
And Ghana is among 4 African countries benefiting from a marine pilot project under the Abidjan Convention to enhance marine management for maximum benefits. The 776,000 euro pilot project will provide learning opportunities for integrated ocean management through spatial planning. Another report by Eva Atibuka.
Dubbed the Mami Water Project, pilot phases are already running in Central, Western and Southern African countries to ensure marine sanity. Under the Abidjan Convention, the project has been extended to cover Ghana to enhance her marine activities. Launching the project in Accra, Programs Coordinator of the Abidjan Convention, Richard Da Costa, said Ghana is a choice amongst 22 African countries because of its brisk oil and port activities. The Western region is identified for protesting the project in Ghana.
Oil and gas that have been increasingly grow up in terms of exploration and even exploitation that may affect in terms of environmental impact some of the neighbor countries. So we think that this zone concentrates a lot of ongoing activity that need to really be considered.
The 776,000 euro pilot project will provide learning opportunities for integrated ocean management through spatial planning. It will also apply tools, management and processes on integrating ecologically and biologically significant marine areas. Programs leader for ecosystems, economics and sustainable development of GRID Arendal, Christian Newman, touched on key components of the project and its importance.
Marine ecosystems are much more. They don't only give us these economic outputs, they also provide us with medicine, they protect our coastlines from erosion, from storms, they clean our waters, and they are a source of inspiration for arts, for culture. They provide a lot of our identity, and that is also something that we think is very important reason to protect.
Deputy Executive Director for Technical Services at the Environmental Protection Agency, Ebenezer Apia Sapong, acknowledged the project is the best solution for conflicts and pollution in Ghana's oil-producing areas.
At the end of the day, we should have the capacity to be able to do continuous marine spatial planning, revise the plan periodically. We should be able to publish the state of the marine environment reports, and then we should also continue to improve our capacity to do all this.
He assured the partners and other stakeholders that the project will be implemented for maximum results.
Star Ghana, a non-governmental institution which begins processes to develop a framework on social inclusion that will ensure equity in development. The manager of Agenda, Equality, Social Inclusiveness and Capacity Building, Eunice Agbenyazi, says the current development processes and policies on social inclusion still has gaps which leaves people vulnerable.
Star Ghana led over 30 individuals from civil societies, think tanks, the media, and other stakeholders to discuss holistically about social inclusion agenda at a meeting in Koforidua. In groups and plenary sessions, they made inputs based on knowledge and practical experiences for 3 days. The head of Gender Equality and Capacity Building for Star Ghana observed that there was the need for an equal playing field and equal participation when it comes to social inclusion for the vulnerable and marginalized.
We are looking at a kind of civil society movement on gender equality and social inclusion. Under the Gender Equality, Social Inclusion and Media Core, we are supporting about 32 different organizations and directly about 12 of 13 media organizations. And we feel that these organizations can connect on their point of synergy, particularly where the issue of gender equality, social inclusion is concerned.
Participants were of the view that a bit more consciousness, broad thinking coupled with action and implementation was critical, moving on to achieve progress on social inclusion.
It's a year since this project started. So we are bringing the projects together to find out what have been the results that we've achieved, what have been the experiences and the lessons, but also how do we strategize to be more effective moving forward.
This is still Midday Live. We have more shortly. Thanks for staying. The people of Bongo district in the Upper East region are excited. Their journeys to parts of the district that share border with Burkina Faso will now be smooth. A 40-kilometer road, which is the shortest to Burkina Faso instead of Paga, will soon see rehabilitation. The president has broken ground for the work to begin. This was after Mission reported on the danger of the poor road posed to pregnant and commuters. That's pregnant women and commuters.
The road network in Bongo is not very good, and most of these communities are between or within rivers. Some communities have to go across sometimes 2 rivers before they are able to get to a facility. We have 2 big culverts. The way they are sited, it is such that certain times, especially during the rainy season, when they call for ambulance service, then it becomes a problem.
This was a headache of healthcare givers. Bridges were in bad state and they easily get washed off after heavy rains.
The gaping hole you see here was created by erosion. Now, this is a road virtually hanging. It links Bongo to Balungu and beyond. We're told that people who are traveling from the side of the Burkina Faso border to this part no longer want to use here. It's just a matter of time and this will come down. I'm right under a road and vehicles would be passing right on top of me. Now this is really causing confusion because health workers are struggling to save pregnant women. Anytime they have to refer women from health centers across the bridge to the Bongo District Hospital, there is a challenge.
This was our first visit in October 2017. Funding for reconstruction was beyond the means of the assembly.
We were lucky that this year we had erratic rainfall pattern. Otherwise, that bridge would have caved in. And the worry is that that stretch of road connects our district to Burkina Faso. It connects us to the main border, which serves as our revenue hub.
And so the drudgery of residents
continued. Though it was the shortest route to Burkina Faso, vehicles refused to ply the stretch because the road was in a bad state. The assembly lost revenue. The assembly did not give up and pressed on to get the road fixed. Their effort yielded results. Some 3 months ago when we came here, residents of the district and the assembly were crying for help. Central government has listened. This hole here is almost giving up. Now, when a vehicle passes on top of this can easily come down. Really, really dangerous. The central government has listened to the plight of the people of the Bongo district, and a contract is been awarded. The hope and prayer is that very soon the contractor will be on site and this will be dealt with.
Then the president broke the ground for work to begin. The people are happy. The Bongo, Gorigo, Balungu, Namu stretch will receive a facelift. The over 40-kilometer stretch will see improved economic activity. This is a dream come true. The president assured the people of bringing development to them. Mission has once again made giant strides, drawing attention to inadequate infrastructure and getting responses from state actors. Residents of Bongo district are assured of more cooperation with the mission team in bringing development to the area. Bright Nananfo, TV3.
Television indeed gets results. Let's look at some more mission stories. And Poor Road Network is negating efforts at speeding up developments in the Nodolu-Kalau district of the Upper West region. Now, farmers are unable to go to farm due to the bad roads, which gets cut off during the rains, while school children and pregnant women have the difficulty in moving due to the culverts that are totally washed off. Another report by Bright Nananfo.
This is the only tarred road in the district. It links Nadoli to Jirapa and beyond. The rest are miles and miles of dusty and tarred and poor roads. Culverts, bridges and dams get flooded during heavy rains.
When the rain sets in, they are very, very immoderable, and it is causing a big challenge. On the western side of the district, it's closer to the Black Volta, and it's low, thereby causing us a lot of headaches when the rain starts.
Commuting is therefore a challenge. The district is vast and wide. This is the Assembly's headache. Economic activities are most affected.
A greater part of communities in the district lies behind this river. Several residents are forced to cross this river before they can undertake their economic activities. Now, in the month of June and July, they simply can't do it because the river gets filled up. It is just below my knee now, but very soon it will get to a level where residents cannot cross.
School children can't go to school during the rains.
A health worker even ever died there some years back, around the early 90s. And here, somebody was washed. Fortunately, he got himself entangled with some trees that fell inside there. And they had to quickly mobilize to come and remove the person.
This culvert links the district to Burkina Faso. It has caved in several times. School children who would have to cross to school are most affected. They simply cannot go. Roads around Takpo, Sankana, Kopieni and several communities are cut off during heavy rains due to culverts that cave in. The Assembly is unable to construct these culverts. The appeal is for central government to step in. The Assembly, however, confirmed some roads have been awarded on contract.
As at last year, October, it was advertised and the bids have been opened, and I'm reliably informed that it has been awarded on contract. I'm yet to get the details as to who the contractor is, and then so I can appeal to him to come to site very soon. Looking at the culverts here, if we get another heavy rain, it is going to cut this whole community off from accessing healthcare and other facilities across the other side of the district.
Our hope is to see contractors soon come on site so as to open up the area for development. Bright Nananfo, TV3.
Away from roads, let's look at some other mission stories. That's education and the people of Kinkele in the Dafiama Busi Isa district of the Upper West region now have a new school building. After missions reports, the assembly constructed a 3-unit classroom block and has handed over the facility to the community. Bryce Anamfo again reports there was joy as the community welcomed district authorities.
This was the only school structure in Kinkele. It was put up by the community. They did not get education, but wanted their kids educated.
Because they have a lot of kids who were not going to school. And where the nearest school is very far. The kids cannot work there. So the parents, on their own efforts, decided to put up this structure.
The structure was a disincentive. Pupils missed school. Mission reported on kids who looked dirty after school and would stay away due to the structure. The community was distressed. Its efforts to educate their kids were not achieving results. The mission team got the Dafiama Busie Isa Assembly to visit the school. The assembly realized it had to provide a school building.
We heard about Kinkele. We came first of all to see what the plight is. Then we put in our 2018 composite budget that we provide them with first time a 3-unit classroom block to start with.
Work started right away. The contractor had 4 months to complete. Residents supported the building team. This man, who is the supervisor, did not see his handiwork. He passed on in a motor accident before completion of the building. After some 3 months, the structure was ready. Teachers are excited. A new beginning has come. The handing over saw a community excited. Their happiness is that their kids will now be attracted to go to school. The assembly is poised to improve education in the district. Kinkele's dream of improving education has been achieved. The next is to find accommodation for teachers, and the assembly is supporting these efforts.
This project we are about to hand over to you is not for nothing, but just to make sure that you, as Kinkele people, as rural as you are, you also catch up with the rest of the country. So I urge you to make sure you send your children to school, make sure they stay in school so that they will also catch up with the rest of the district and the rest of the country at large.
The Dafiama Busie Isa district is not stopping here. It plans to ensure pupils who go through basic schools get the needed support to proceed to the higher levels of education. Bright Nanafo, TV3.
Kudos to Bright and the team and everyone who made that possible. This is Midday Live. For entertainment this afternoon, we'll bring you some artworks of tilapia. And that'll be all for this afternoon. Let's take a look at the headlines again before I wrap up. And Ghana Society of the Physically Disabled request all public buildings be made disability friendly. And in sports, boxing legend Azuma Nelson honored. On the firing front, Israel carries out an evacuation of members of Syria's White Helmet Civil Defense Group from a war zone in southwestern Syria. I am Wendy Lai. Thanks for watching. Do have a lovely afternoon and enjoy the rest of our programs. News 360 is at 7. Thanks for watching.